What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to cover a lot of different things for NIO stock, including why they've been crashing and pulling back so drastically over the past couple of weeks and even the past few months. I'm also going to cover some of the delivery numbers as well as the price forecast for NIO over the next 12 months and what different analysts think of NIO. And then I'm also going to touch on a proposed secondary listing in regards to NIO listing on the Hong Kong Stock Exchange and what that could mean for NIO in the future. But before we actually get into all the information, for those of you who are new here, my name is Evan and I make videos that show you guys different ways of making money in the stock market. So if that interests you guys, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss when I upload. Also, if you guys wouldn't mind going down and hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it, and it really helps out the channel and it lets me know that you guys enjoy these video updates about different stocks. So again, if you guys wouldn't mind hitting the like button, I would really appreciate it. Now in regards to NIO and where they're trading right now, they're actually up 1.2% today and they're trading at about 1830 right now. Their high on the day was at about 1870, which was about an hour ago at the time of recording this, and their low on the day was down to 1767, which is pretty low for NIO. Now when we actually zoom out to the 1 month chart, you can see that NIO has been pulling back pretty drastically over the past month. They had a couple times where they spiked up to about $26 and then they pulled back to about $24, and for a while they were bouncing between $24 and $26. And then all of a sudden in the past few weeks, NIO pulled back from about $24 all the way into the low 20s at about $21. They eventually climbed back up over the next few trading days up to about $23, and now they've been dropping down into the low teens. And on the whole month, they're down about 26%. And the reason as to why NIO is actually down 26% on the monthly chart is actually due to supply chain issues that are impacting the entire auto industry. NIO is not the only company being affected right now. And we've actually seen for the past couple of years a lot of different chip shortages and just overall a shortage in the auto industry. There are all kinds of parts that are on back orders, and we've seen over the past few months and the past year or so, many companies haven't hit these goals that they set for production numbers, and because of that, we're seeing these stocks suffer. Now, if we back up to last week, when shares of NIO were beginning to tumble, and they were actually dropping down below $20. That was likely because traders were reacting to recent news about supply chain issues at Ford and Rivian, and this caused NIO's stock price to drop by almost 8.6% last Thursday. And NIO's stock price has also been tumbling because on last Tuesday, NIO actually made public their deliveries for February, and while their deliveries were up 10% year over year, for this month, it actually marked a growth slowdown from a 34% increase in deliveries that NIO reported in January. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of NIO investors continue selling out of their shares, and this is due in part to the comments from Ford's CFO, John Lawler, because on Wednesday, he said that the company is facing supply chain challenges in acquiring raw materials that they need, and that geopolitical issues are really exacerbating the problem. And these comments came just 2 days after Rivian, who's also a US-based EV company, told some of their potential customers that they're going to have to raise prices of their vehicles because of rising costs. Rivian initially told customers who had reserved vehicles that their prices would increase too by as much as 20%. But they actually walked that back on Thursday and said that the price increase is only going to apply to new customers. So that was a relief to current customers who have reserved some Rivian vehicles. But with both Ford and Rivian indicating that there's supply chain constraints, this is hurting a lot of other companies, and a lot of investors who are invested in other automotive stocks are actually reacting to this news as if the news were coming directly from NIO. Because obviously NIO investors are worried that the company is going to experience the same issues, and I think that's a realistic expectation. With all these restrictions and all these parts on back order, especially the chip shortage that we've seen over the past couple of years, it's a very realistic thing that NIO is going to continue seeing slower growth than we had expected prior to this. Now, as an EV investor, there's definitely a few things to keep your eye on right now, and a couple of those are definitely inflation, as well as incoming interest rates by the Fed, and not to mention what's going on in Europe right now. And then on top of that, we continue having supply chain constraints, and these could significantly impact different automotive companies for quite a while into the future. There's definitely a lot of promise for EV companies, but they have to get over a lot of hurdles as compared to normal auto manufacturers because they haven't been around nearly as long, and they just don't have the resources right now in order to continue growing at a rapid rate. Also, for those of you who are invested in NIO, one thing to look forward to is actually their latest quarterly results, which they're going to announce on March 24th. And so this is going to give us a better idea of what NIO has been doing over the past quarter, as well as what we may be able to expect for the rest of 2022. Now, speaking of 2022, I just want to touch on the delivery numbers for NIO, because in February of this year, 2022, NIO delivered 6,131 vehicles, which was an increase of 9.9% year over year. And cumulatively in 2022, NIO has delivered 15,783 vehicles, and it was increased by 23.3% year over year. And in total, from the ES8, ES6, and EC6, as of February 28th, 2022, NIO currently has delivered 182,853 vehicles. Now, I think every year we can expect a lower number in February because February was quite a bit lower than January. And this is due to the Chinese New Year, which takes place around this time every year. And during the production suspension of the NIO JAC manufacturing plant in the Spring Festival holiday, which lasted from January 31st to February 6th, they actually adjusted the production lines to prepare for the delivery of the ET7 in March of 2022. But basically, to sum up their deliveries and what happened, I think a lot of investors actually overreacted because their deliveries were lower in February. I think it kind of flies under the radar and not many people know of the Chinese New Year and how that's going to affect their business. Now, I don't personally know whether they stay open and they continue producing vehicles or if everybody's on break. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but I do know that we've seen this over the past couple of years. NIO does typically deliver less vehicles in February, and that's also because the month is shorter. There's usually only 28 days in February when it's not a leap year, so that's going to affect their numbers as well when there's 10% less days in a month. Now this leads into the next thing that I want to touch on, which is NIO's price forecast. And right now there's 26 analysts who are offering a 12-month price forecast for NIO, and they have a median price target of $50.60. And if you calculate that out, that's a 173% increase from their current trading price of about $18. And that's not even the high, that's the median price right now. The high is actually $87.98, which represents a 376% price increase over the next 12 months. And then the low estimate is at $29.95, which is still 62% upside from their current trading price. So as you can see, there's a lot of analysts who are very bullish on NIO. And actually 22 of these 26 analysts have a buy rating on NIO, 2 have an outperform and 3 have a hold, with nobody having an underperform or a sell rating on NIO. Now I know over the past 12 months, I believe last July, NIO hit $55, so it's nothing crazy to expect NIO to climb back up to $50 over the next year. And I do think that that's very possible for NIO since we've seen their price fluctuate so drastically in the past. But I definitely wouldn't be surprised with what's going on in the world right now and all these different shortages in the automotive industry. We definitely could see NIO trade flat for the next 6 to 12 months possibly, with just slight increases in their price. Now I hope that's not what happens. I hope we see them start climbing upwards, especially as delivery numbers increase and we see the ET7 hit the market. And if you're going to be invested, I would maybe plan on NIO trading flat or sideways for quite a while, especially until some of these things that are happening in the world right now kind of start going away, and then we can really start seeing NIO increase and get back to where they were trading about a year to a year and a half ago. Lastly, I just want to touch on the fact that NIO is actually proposing a secondary listing on the stock exchange of Hong Kong. Now, I'm not going to read this entire article here, but if you guys want to pause the video here and read this, or if you want to go to their website, just nio.com, and then you just go under the news and events tab and then news releases, and you can read more about what's happening. But basically, NIO wants to provide a safety net amid heightened regulatory scrutiny from both Beijing as well as the US. And it's also concerning to different Chinese stocks because we've seen in the past there was a company called Didi, which was basically the Chinese Uber, and they pretty abruptly delisted from the New York Stock Exchange back in December. And this was to comply with Beijing's new data regime, among other reasons, of course. But this caused a lot of concern for NIO investors and other investors who were looking into other Chinese stocks. And NIO has high expectations riding on their Hong Kong listing. And a spokesperson actually stated that Hong Kong is going to expose the company to a wide range of private and institutional investors, as well as hopefully gaining access to Hong Kong's capital markets. And then there's also talks that NIO could also be looking at a third listing in Singapore. So with everything considered that we've gone over in this video, and given the median price target of $50.60, I want to know what you guys think down in the comments about NIO's price prediction and whether you think $50 is a realistic price prediction over the next 12 months. If you don't think that's realistic, let me know what you guys think NIO is going to be at in the next 12 months. Also, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like because it really does help out the channel. And with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here in the next one. Bye.